everyone, and happy Wednesday. The holiday season is upon us, and we just got our very first snowfall, and it is beautiful. So I was feeling inspired this week to paint a very peaceful, wintry landscape, and my hope is that in watching me paint this little landscape, that it can bring a little bit more peace, joy, and zen into your life. As always, every single week, I want you to know that I am so thankful that you are here, and I appreciate that you make the time to connect with me. I appreciate that you make the time to watch, and many of you share with me every week that you love to paint along with me, and I think this is the kind of project that you'll probably have lots of fun painting with me. It's really not all that complicated, and in fact it's very easy. I think the most challenging thing will be whether or not you have a fan brush. And that's that. I'm working with 3 colors and some iridescent paint, and I am doing everything I can to really just keep it simple and relaxing. And I hope you'll find it relaxing and peaceful as well. So thank you for joining me. If you feel like painting, grab your paint supplies. If you feel like relaxing, lay back and enjoy the process. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. To start my process, I'm going to use the dark blue that's currently on my palette, and I'm going to use a red, in which case I used the wrong red. This color that I just put on the palette or in my palette had a little bit too much yellow. So I'm going back to my light red, which was the color that I just went to, and adding that color to the blue will mix to create a very light gray, a light wash of gray, and I'm gonna add lots and lots of water, and this is going to be the very first layer of color that I add to my paper. And once I'm done adding the paint, I will add some salt, and then I'll let it all dry before moving on to the next step. Before adding my paint, I decided to add some concentric circles in the background because I want to have a moonlit landscape. And so I know at least one of these circles will be a circle that I'll use in my painting. I'm not 100% sure I'll use all of them, but I figured it would just be easier for me to sort of give myself a little guideline and add the circles first. Whatever I won't use will be hidden by the paint, so I'm not too worried about it. And whatever I do use will serve as a guide. Unfortunately, in my fatigued state of mind, I forgot to turn on my camera when I added the burnt umber to the painting. So I basically, like you see, added some burnt umber around what will be my moon. I created a bit of a slope, and then I added some salt. Before moving on, of course, like I did for the first layer, I removed the salt once everything was dry. Now's the time I'm going to use my fan brush to start adding some um, branches and pine boughs to my trees, to my tree, I should say. There's just one tree here right now. And I love this brush for this purpose in particular. I haven't really discovered any other ways to use the brush just yet, but to do this specifically, it works really well. And I love how all I need to do is just kind of sweep back and forth, and it almost gives the impression of having little pine needles like coming out of the branches. And yeah, for me, there's no better brush to do this than the one I'm using right now. Which is not to say that you might not be able to create something similar with a different type of brush, but I really like a fan brush to do this um, specific part of my painting process. Um, yeah, Bob Ross is the one who introduced me to this brush many, many, many years ago. I bought one a long time ago. I would even say years ago. And I only just recently started using it. And I have to say, I'm happy I finally did, because it does work really well. And, you know, Bob Ross had a way of creating that was very zen and very peaceful. And I loved watching him paint. And when I'm using this brush, it sort of feels like, in some ways, I'm channeling his spirit, and I like that. It's a fun thing to connect with someone who really inspired me to start exploring my own creativity when I was younger. Here I'm gonna work with a regular round brush just to show you that it is possible to create trees with one of these little brushes as well. The strokes, of course, are going to be a little bit different, and the outcome is going to be slightly different, but I think it'll turn out to be a nice little tree as well once I'm done. And yeah, I often feel like we are called on in this life to always be trying to buy the newest and latest thing. And we have, or I have anyway, I am guilty as charged. I have a ton of art supplies, and if I just focus on using the supplies I currently have, with these supplies alone, I know I can create a ton of beautiful work. I don't necessarily need to go out there and buy something new. So if you really feel called to buy a fan brush, then, you know, by all means, please go ahead and do so. But I also want you to feel comfortable in, you know, exploring the supplies you currently have and using what you currently have on hand, because chances are you probably can do a lot with what you already have, and you don't necessarily need to get out there and buy something new. I've decided I want to add another circle around my moon because I want to add a little bit more of that bronze color. I feel like it's beautiful and it really helps to bring out the burnt sienna, or I think it's burnt sienna. I'll list it in my video description, of course. So that brown that's in the background of the painting, I want to sort of help the bronze highlight more of that, I guess. And so I want to bring a little bit more bronze into the painting, and I think doing so with another ring is going to be perfect. And then I toyed with the idea of adding some more white into my sky to represent my stars, and I decided that I was just going to do so using the bronze. And I'm happy I did. I think it's sort of an unexpected color for me to use to create those stars. And at the same time, it's such a beautiful color and it looks really nice in this painting, so why not add a little bit more of it? I really love the tree I've created as the focal point for my painting, and I feel like I need to draw a little bit more attention to it, so I've decided to add a star at the very tip of the tree, and I'll also add some little dots of that bronze color inside the tree to help sort of make it feel more Christmassy, I guess. I love Christmas lights. They're really, really pretty, and that's one of the things I always look forward to at this time of the year. The holidays and life as a whole tend to be a reflection of what we choose to focus on. And since my most sincere wish for life and for the holidays is that they be filled with love, peace, and joy, this is what I'm going to focus on bringing into being. What lives in my heart can live in my world. And I hope, sweet friends, that you can choose to bring more of what your heart longs for into your life. In my video description, I've included a playlist of many of the videos I've created with a seasonal and holiday theme. Please don't forget to check it out if you'd like to create some of your own little magic this holiday season. Thank you again for making the time to join me in my creative journey. I hope you have the most wonderful week. And remember, friends, happy creating!